It begins with a narwhal swimming in the water, surrounded by ice. Upon surfacing, a lady wakes up. She is Marina, a diving professional and our protagonist. She looks at the TV that shows her something similar to her dream. Another lady is there in bed, telling her to turn the device off. She is Luisa. The scene changes to both of them sitting elsewhere in their diving outfit. Luisa looks at a picture of Christ the Redeemer that stands in their country of Brazil. To her, it looks like he is about to dive. Then an older lady comes to them to give the girls a newspaper. Luisa is glad that they made it into the picture this time. After that, the friends stand high above the Olympic pool, listening to the music that plays before the major event. Their names get spoken for the audience to hear, along with them representing Brazil. Once they dive, we get to hear the scores offered to them. They are respectable. Soon, they dive again, which results in higher scores. Later, Marina lets Luisa hear something which the former hears in her ear. But Luisa says she hears nothing. It's like there is a cricket in her ear, Marina says. Her friend thinks it's all in her head. As they stand on the platform before their next dive, we hear the ringing Marina was possibly talking about. Unfortunately, their dive leaves Marina in an accident. We observe her body floating while Luisa swims away. As the opening credits play, our view gets taken through a red virtual tunnel where a yellow cricket moves along. After the presentation of the movie title, many red crickets are on display, moving in a pilot close-up. Afterward, children watch fish swimming in a large aquarium. Of all things, Marina appears there, as a mermaid among the fish. This is what she does now, instead of diving. She then joins a support group which she seems to frequent. It deals with people who are impaired in their hearing. She starts by saying that today is the anniversary of her breakdown. It was 4 years ago. Suddenly, the man near her starts saying that someone is there. That makes the group leader ask him who it is. The man, Inacio, says it's a he. Yet the group leader corrects him by saying it isn't a he. It's the condition, tinnitus. Inacio goes on to say it's the same noise as the one from the museum. After he says something that makes the group leader uncomfortable, he also says all he wanted was 1 minute of silence. Marina tries to calm him. The next scene has her submerged in a bathtub. The group leader comes to her and she surfaces. He is Santos, who also seems to be her boyfriend. He tells her it's a new record. According to him, her lungs should be studied. He also informs her that she got a call from a reporter about Luisa having won something. That reporter wants to interview Marina, though she is not interested. At another time, she experiences ringing in her ear again. It makes her press her ear against the wall, perhaps trying to hear something. Later, we see her getting ready to be a mermaid. While she sits in the locker room, she listens to the radio to hear her accident get mentioned. Shortly after, Luisa gets interviewed. She says it's a dangerous sport they engage in. After that, Marina talks to her friend from when she was a diver. She is Sonia. She misses her, and the feeling is mutual from Sonia along with the rest of the crew. She wants Marina to come and cheer for her in the Masters. She doubts that any old woman can dive better than her. They look at the huge pool near them, and Sonia says it's intimidating. What comes after is our protagonist looking at pictures of diving injuries on the internet. Santos comes to say a whale is swimming in their kitchen. That causes Marina to look at the floor, where water pools along with soap. A toy narwhal is there too, which is what he referred to. The man tells her the washing machine must have overflowed again. Then he asks her about her ringing. With the tranquilizers he gave her, she doesn't hear anything. Following this, she sits somewhere with headphones on, listening to certain sounds. A doctor is there to inform her that infections are common in water sport. But that isn't the case, because her hearing is perfect. She tells him she's competing in Japan soon. For that, she wants to be in perfect shape. The doctor says long flights could cause discomfort if one has sensitive ears. His opinion is that it won't happen to her. After she tells him how anxious she is, he says his wife used to compete. Now she works at the aquarium, just like Marina. Afterward, he tells her the hospital is sponsoring a music event for the hearing impaired. It will feature Japanese music, and he invites her to join. That exact event is where the next scene takes place. Many people sit there with their eyes closed, holding a big red ball. Supposedly, holding it should give them some understanding of what they hear, because of their deafness. Someone moves along while playing a wooden instrument, delivering the specific sound that is usually associated with Japan. We see Marina there with Santos. Looking above, she sees 2 of her diving friends. One of them is Luisa, who walks away in a saddened state upon seeing her friend. Shortly after, Marina imagines herself floating in the water. It makes her uncomfortable, to the point of abruptly running away. She sits outside, vomiting. Santos comes to say she hadn't been that sick in a while. She wonders if she could be pregnant. If that is true, she will need some time away from the aquarium, he tells her. However, she loves the aquarium and doesn't want to quit. While swimming as a mermaid in the place she loves, Marina gets a visit from one of her friends, who places a picture against the glass for her to see. Due to that, Marina swims upward. She floats in silence for some time before meeting her friend. Her friend is Teresa, inquiring if Marina likes working there. She likes the silence of it. She also thanks Teresa for the picture. Later, Marina sits before several doctors to give them a speech about her condition. Santos is among them, being a doctor himself. She informs them she has had hypersensitivity since her teenage years. Her ringing, though, progressed over time. Santos chimes in to say it took 3 years. Marina continues by saying that diving made the ringing more continuous. and louder. Maria leaves as Santos answers the rest of the questions. The place she goes to is the big Olympic pool. She revisits that place by herself. Standing atop the platform, she holds her arms out to absorb the reminiscent experience. In a very short time, Teresa arrives to tell her she is glad she came. Marina seems to be out of air, saying it has been a while since she's been there. Teresa assures her there is nothing to be afraid of, before taking her friend by the hand and asking if she's ready. Shortly after, they dive into the pool. When she comes back home, Santos asks her why she ran from the meeting. She responds that she had an important meeting. The important thing to him is that she embarrassed the man in front of his peers. She gets angry, saying she was like a guinea pig there. Their argument prompts her to walk away. At another time, he asks her if she dived into the pool, because he can smell chlorine on her. Wanting to keep it a secret, she just sidesteps his question. She then empties the pills he got her. Back at the Olympic pool, we observe Sonia getting ready to dive. Marina is there, along with Teresa, who shows the former a video of her and Luisa as young girls, already participating in water sport. While they looked at that brief video, it was enough for them to miss Sonia's dive. Marina says not to mention that to anyone. After that, Marina talks to Sonia in the locker room. We discover that Sonia won the competition. Once Marina helps her friend out of her swimsuit, she sees something on her body that we don't see. She asks if it was an accident, but Sonia shakes her head. Subsequently, Marina encounters Luisa. She tells our protagonist that the worst way someone can abandon a person is in silence. Marina says Sonia invited her there, she didn't plan on coming. Luisa replies that the former diver ran away. She also wants to know if Marina still hears voices. She tells Luisa she is in treatment. If Marina keeps hiding this, Luisa says she will mess with everyone's lives. All Marina says is that she doesn't hear voices. Her friend does not believe her, not wanting her to show up anymore. As she walks away, Marina gets very angry. In the locker room, seeing a picture of her with Luisa makes her more angry. She applies her anger onto her locker, bending it in the process. Then her three friends watch as she stands on the diving platform, getting ready to jump. After she does, they congratulate her. Luisa, however, leaves in frustration. At home, we hear that Marina took some time off from the aquarium. She holds herself in an upward position, educating Santos that it improves blood circulation in the entire body. She also says it might help with getting pregnant. The man replies that she should take her pills every 8 hours. Yet we should remember that she threw them away, so she lies about taking them. At that moment, they hear something loud. The next scene has the couple standing in another room where water is pooling on the floor. A man comes to check on a room that has been vacant for 1 year. Supposedly, the noise came from there. It relieves Marina that it came from there and isn't a result of her tinnitus. She starts saying her condition is stable, making Santos ask how she knows that. He also asks how long it's been since she dived. That question makes her ask what he's talking about. He figures that this is her reason for leaving the aquarium. The lady lies to him, claiming that she just visited the pool to watch Sonia, though she also says she doesn't owe him an explanation. He agrees, but he thinks it will be troublesome once her symptoms return in stronger form as she stands on the diving platform. He then holds the empty pill bottle in front of her to ask what else she's keeping from him. Why did she keep an empty bottle lying around for him to find? The man tells her he wants to have a child with her. She's not quite as certain as he is. Plus, she doesn't think it's the right moment for it. His last words to his girlfriend before the scene ends are that it's worse to lie to herself than to him. Following that, we see a red man moving outside, like a dancing zombie. Marina passes him by with Teresa, although the former is the one who pays attention to his strangeness. As the duo walks, our view is kept on his bizarre movements. The meaning of his presentation is completely unknown. On another day, we see Luisa about to dive. It upsets her that her old partner arrives instead of Teresa. Marina tells her things are the way they are because Sonia told her to come. But they can't change their routine on the eve of the tournament, Luisa says. Marina fires back with the point that one either changes their strategy, or one will be a mere spectator. When Luisa tells her she's trying to take her place, Marina wants her to stop with her delusions. So they dive together. Then Luisa talks to Sonia, who informs the girl that she has to increase the difficulty of her performance if she wants to get a good score in the qualifiers. Yet Luisa expresses her worry about getting injured. To that, Sonia says there is no point in doing a perfect basic dive. Less is more, according to Luisa. She even learned this from the person she's now talking to. She asks if that is how Sonia won her medal. The woman responds that it was a different time in 1964. Turning around, Luisa observes Marina doing flips in the distance. She says they aren't even the dives they do. On a different day, Marina practices her technique with Teresa. Luisa is there, watching with dissatisfaction. Soon enough, bad luck strikes our heroine, because she begins to hear a slight ringing in her ears. Searching for where it might be coming from does not reveal anything, until she looks at something spinning inside the ceiling, though it's uncertain if that was truly the source. Later, Luisa stands on the diving platform with Teresa. After they dive, Luisa swims to Marina while crying. She sprained her wrists, and asks Marina if she's happy about it. Her past partner does not comfort her. She just tells her that hatred is a powerful fuel. Now Louisa has a real chance of success. Next, we see Marina coming near a group of people who hold their arms out to a monument, so she decides to mimic them. It's a mystery as to what it means. At a bar, Marina gets intimate with Teresa and spends the night with her. Upon waking up, Marina wants to know where Teresa got the jacket she's wearing, because it's Marina's. She's somewhat upset that Teresa went through her belongings. Getting angry about that, Teresa takes the jacket off and drops it. She tells Marina it was going in the trash, just like her career. In the following scene, a doctor inspects Louisa's wrists. The girl mentions she dived before with a broken wrist. However, the doctor gives a warning that if she does, she could lose her wrist's function. What's important for Louisa is whether she will have time to recover for the Olympics. Only if she takes enough time to recover is the answer she receives. We then see Santos inspecting Teresa. She asks the man what she wants him to do to her. It involves him cheating on Marina. Afterward, Inicio tells Marina she will like Japan as they are climbing cylindrical stairs outside. Once they reach a high point, he says the site makes up for the fatigue of climbing. The site truly does offer them an impressive view of their city. Past the stairs, they get onto the roof. 4 people sit there like monks. They look so peaceful to Marina. That prompts Inicio to ask her if she would be able to live like them in their silence. She says it would be a sacrifice. Later, it seems like Marina and Teresa are in Japan. They sleep in a theater that shows them a documentary about Tokyo, which mentions Brazilian divers. It says how Sonia was there to bring awe to them. She won a gold medal in her first international competition. She also refused the flowers her government brought to honor her. Following this, we see the duo getting interviewed on what it was like to compete in Japan. The interviewer asks her whether, since it's the first time they competed together, they are surprised by the good score they got. Teresa says it was no surprise, because they have supernatural synchrony. The interviewer tells Marina that comebacks like hers are uncommon. Due to this, she is asked if she had something to prove to herself or to the sport. She responds that it was partially both. She adds it was Teresa who helped her get back into it. The interviewer wants to know if it was hard for Marina to put the accident behind her. Teresa answers that one by saying accidents are part of the sport. While they talk, Marina's accident is displayed on the huge screen to her left. That bothers her, making her ask for the footage not to be shown. She never watched it and didn't expect to watch it here, seeing it seems to have been troubling enough to activate her tinnitus. No longer in Japan, Marina visits her old friend, Louisa, to see how she's doing. The lady is exercising her wrists. When the doctor tells Marina to look at her recovering friend, Louisa instantly says they are not friends. The doctor has no further words, so she leaves. Marina gives Louisa a present. After unwrapping it, the gift is a broken mug. This causes Louisa to sarcastically thank her for it. The cracks make it more valuable, says Marina, because it's harder to mend it with gold. It's a Japanese tradition. However, Louisa wants her to spare such details because it would take a lot of gold to put all their broken friendship pieces together. Then Marina reveals that it's fake. The mug is just a replica she got at the airport. Louisa has news for her too. She says she learned Marina's dive, along with being back in the competition. In another scene, we observe the group session again. Inicio talks about having heard hundreds of insects inside his AC. Due to this, he had people shut it down. Suddenly, Teresa joins the session. It surprises her to see Santos there, not being a doctor, but a therapist. She asks him if this is Marina's condition because she didn't know about it. The scene cuts off before she gets any answer. At night, Teresa gets up to start turning everything off that makes noise, because something is troubling her. As the noises lessen, something remains. Marina wakes up, and Teresa says there is a bug somewhere. Yet Marina tells her there isn't one. She also tells her partner to calm down, because she's been through this. She will ask Santos to help her, while also assuring her that she will feel better tomorrow. At that point, Teresa tells her she knows what Marina has been hiding from her. She believes she caught the condition from her. In the morning, we see Marina waking up on the couch near Inicio. Supposedly, what Teresa discovered about her led to them getting separated. She asks him if he thinks she could have passed her tinnitus to Teresa. Inicio answers that their flight from Japan was long. The pressure on the plane could have been an issue. After saying that, the generous man wants Marina to make herself at home. At another time, Teresa starts climbing the stairs of the Olympic pool platform. Louisa is there to follow her. Finding out about her condition, she threatens the poor girl that she will tell Sonia about her tinnitus. So she starts going, forcing Teresa to follow her. As Louisa walks, Teresa yells out that if she tells Sonia now, they could lose their spot. While walking, she gets bothered by the noise, to such an extent that she feels like her head will explode. In the locker room, Teresa breaks some glass to put the shards in Louisa's towel for revenge. Fortunately for Louisa, Marina is there to show her the trap Teresa set up for her. After that, Marina walks around in a museum. Inicio spoke of it several times, which is why she could be there. Just like the man, she also hears things there. In particular, it is the vents where the sound seems to be coming from. The next scene shows us Santos looking at X-ray images with another doctor. When Marina comes in, we soon see Inicio lying unconscious in bed. Marina says he was fine this morning. Santos assures her he will remain fine. As the others leave, Marina stays to hold his hand. No one cares about the man as much as she does. She then walks with Santos, who tells her she could have called him. Their distance is something he considers problematic. He thinks she should go and pack her belongings. This soon brings Marina home, where she cries. She looks at Teresa sleeping in bed there. Coming to lie beside the girl, she sees Teresa open her eyes. She tells Marina that her fate lies elsewhere. We know that Santos is with her now. Afterward, Marina and Luisa get ready for diving. Before leaving, Luisa says she hates her. The scene changes to the ladies standing on a diving platform, preparing for the final. While standing there, readying themselves, the fearful moment arrives for our heroine. Her tinnitus takes control of her, which forces her to leave. She runs away, screaming. Back in the locker room, she sits holding a pen to her ear. Luisa soon arrives to prevent her from making things worse. All Marina wants to know is how long they have. 30 minutes is the answer she gets. Luisa also warns her that if she modifies her ears, she won't hear the applause. That, however, was never the reason why Marina is an athlete. She says she will meet Luisa on the platform. Once she leaves, Marina takes out a sharp object to apply it to her ears. Both applications bring her great discomfort. Following this, the two divers stand on the platform again. There is no sound, because Marina hears almost nothing. She has silenced her condition for a chance at success. After getting ready, the duo performs a series of exquisite dives. Marina did not pass out this time. They come out to be greeted with applause. Luisa hears it, yet Marina does not. It's not a problem, though, because they hug each other in their ecstatic moment of having succeeded. After removing her earplug, we see the poor lady's bloody ear. Hopefully, this victorious moment made them friends again. This story shows us what hurdles some people will choose to go through to reach success in doing what they love.